Hey guys, how's it all going? It's FootyMan03 here, and welcome to AJ Predicts for week number 3. Now, just updating you guys about why there was no video last week. Case in point, I went to go put it in my editing video type thingy, and it just said file corrupted. I tried absolutely everything to get that video out, and unfortunately, well, you can't help the technical bugs. But we're back this week, hopefully. And let's get into week number 3. Last week I only got 3 wrong if you count a tie. But that is just so crazy. We've had so many ties. What else could we talk about? The Bucks on top of the AFC South. Who would have picked that? At the start of the year, the Bucks sitting all alone atop of the NFC South. I certainly would have picked it. Anyway, let's move on to this game. We'll have to slide down a little bit to get to the Monday night game between Pittsburgh and Tampa. So you know that. We're just going to move it down here. Okay, moving on. We're starting off with the AFC Thursday night of football. We have the Jets traveling to Cleveland. The Jets, they're 1-1. The Browns, you can see, 0-1-1. That's high, man. It's going to confuse a lot of tipsters. I'm telling you that right now. But I fancy the Browns at home. They played well at home last time. The Jets, they struggled away from MetLife, struggled good, even at home last week. Maybe away from home is the best step for them. But the Browns, I reckon, will get up. They'll get their first win since December 2016. Moving on, we've got the Denver Broncos taking on the Baltimore Ravens. Speaking of surprises, Denver are sitting tied for first place in the AFC West with 2 hard-fought victories. Baltimore shocked us all with a demolition job over Buffalo in week 1. They kind of went back to earth against the Bengals last week. And hopefully, for Joe Flacco's sake, the down-to-earth trend doesn't continue. But in my opinion, it will. Denver, they've been the kings of the late comeback, and they've been pretty good at it so far this season. Moving on, we've got the Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Tennessee Titans. The Titans, they're 0-2. Lost to the Texans, I don't know how. I mean, Mariota wasn't playing, but Blaine Gabbert's a respectable starting quarterback, we think. The Jacksonville Jaguars, they beat New England, and they seem unstoppable, but Tennessee were the only team out of the AFC South to win against them twice, the clean sweep. And they're going to start in the same fashion. It depends if Mariota plays. If Mariota doesn't play, Jacksonville will win. Moving on, we've got the Oakland Raiders versus Miami Dolphins. John Gruden's return to Oakland hasn't gone to smooth sailing, while Ryan Tannehill's return has, with the Dolphins winning their first 2 games to start the season. But will they go 3-0? Well, Gruden needs some luck, but unfortunately he's not going to get it against this Miami side. By the way, Tannehill is in pretty good form. He's only incompleted 13 passes in 2 weeks, and that's pretty good for a man that's missed a lot of football. Moving on to the intra-conference matches. We're going to go now. Cincinnati taking on Carolina now. This is a beauty of a game. The Bengals, they started out 2-0. The Panthers started out 1-1 with 3 other teams in the NFC South. They were okay, to say the least, against Atlanta. But they rely too much on Cam Newton on the ground. And you can't have that on offense. You need Cam Newton to be throwing the ball as much as you can. You can't have him on the ground. He was their leading rusher last year. They had a lot of players on the ground against Dallas, a lot of players on the ground against Atlanta. But it's not going to be enough. Cincinnati will continue the unbeaten streak. Now, on the subject of the Bengals, they're throwing the ball to AJ Green way too often. A hat-trick of touchdowns in the first half last week against the Ravens. Will that be exposed by a team? We don't know. I don't think anyone knows. But you got to get some physical man on AJ Green. You just gotta do it. Moving on, we got the New York Giants taking on the Houston Texans. The Texans are 1-0, 1-1. Sorry, Deshaun Watson, the man in question, he was good against the Titans, against that defense, and did get fooled by the first fake punt of the season. 66 odd yards for a touchdown. Yeah, it was 66 yards. And regardless, the Giants, their offensive line has got more holes in than in a turnstile, as they allowed the Cowboys to amass 5 sacks over Eli Manning. Who knows? He might have an injury before the season is over. Houston will win. J.J. Watt, in my super prediction, to get to Manning 5 times, force a fumble once, and return it for a touchdown. And no, Saquon doesn't even get a mention because the Cowboys shut him out pretty good. Moving on, we got the San Francisco 69ers taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm taking the Chiefs in this one. Yeah, their defense was a little bit inconsistent against Pittsburgh, letting in 37 points, but their offense, Patrick Mahomes, is on track for a massive season. And he's playing good like it too. Moving on, we got the Buffalo Shitter Bills taking on the Minnesota Vikings. Now, the Vikings, they're 1-0-1 at the moment. They had a great game. And they just signed Dan Bailey, the Iceman. They got rid of him from Dallas. So we have to take the Vikings in that one. Moving on, we have Indianapolis taking on Philadelphia. Wentz is back. Mark my words, Philly is going to win. Moving on, the derby for Los Angeles. We've got the Chargers taking on the Rams. The Rams are 2-0. That makes my decision easy. Los Angeles, the greatest show on defense, is back. Moving on, another big grudge match. Matt Patricia returning to place his old pals in New England at home against New England. Detroit, man, are absolutely terrible. So we're going to tip the Patriots in this one. They're going to rebound after the shock loss to Jacksonville. Moving on, Monday night, we've got Pittsburgh taking on Tampa Bay. Pittsburgh are on, then off, then on, then off, then on, then off. Their defense led in 28 points in the first half against Kansas City on last week. That can't happen. Plus, Ryan Fitzmagic will lead the Bucs to their first 3-0 start since Gruden was their coach and took them to Super Bowl 36. Moving on, New Orleans taking on Atlanta. Atlanta, well, you can't really trust them, to be honest with you. But the Saints have the best show. Breeze, Kamara, the perfect fit couple to go down Urban Street, and they're going to get to 2-1. Moving on, we got the Green Bay Packers versus the Washington Redskins. Yes, I'm not calling them the Washington Hayden Raymond anymore. If you don't know, recently I was approached by the man himself, Hayden Raymond, saying he was going to take legal action if I said his name. So unfortunately, we're going to have to retire the segment of the Washington Hayden Raymonds. I apologise to anyone, and I just hope you don't come at me with your checkbooks. Anyway, speaking of the fact, the Packers are going to win because I'm friendly with a lawsuit. Moving on, we've got Chicago taking on Arizona. Steve Wilks' starting stub as an NFL head coach has gone pretty poorly by the books, while Chicago, Khalil Mack, has more good defensive stats by himself than John Gruden's Raiders-led defense. So, Chicago winning away from home. Moving on, we got the Seahawks and the Cowboys. No big rivals, but the Cowboys, one of the only teams to win at CenturyLink Field in the Carroll Wilson era, and it's going to continue. The Cowboys winning at Seattle. Looking at this week, we've got the Browns to beat the Jets, Donkeys to beat the Ravens, Titans to beat Jaguars, Dolphins to beat Raiders, Bengals to win at Carolina, Houston to beat the Giants, Chiefs to beat 49ers, Vikings to go on top of the Bills to get them to 0-3. Carson Wentz is back, and so are Philadelphia on offense. Are going to beat Indy. The Battle of Los Angeles goes to the Rams. Patriots narrowly beat Lions in Patricia's return to New England. Tampa Bay, they get over the top of them. They're going 3-0. Saints to beat the Falcons. Redskins to lose to the Packers. Bears to beat Cardinals. And the Cowboys to beat Seahawks. Thanks for watching AJ Predicts this week. Thanks for your company. Take care and goodbye. And also, just before we go, make sure to subscribe to my mates at the Fail Bros. If you haven't, I will leave a link down in the description below. They're already at 1,000 subscribers, so make sure you go check into their Q&A. But they're going to try to get to 2,000 by the end of the year. Let's try and get them there the best we can. Thank you very much, and goodbye.